Hello friends, welcome to Code Crush Coding. In this video we are going to learn some of the Python interview questions. So let's start with the first question. So do we need to declare a variable with data types in Python? So data types are the different type of data that a particular variable will be storing. So that are the data types. But in Python we don't need to provide the data type for a variable. Python is a dynamically typed language. Python interpreter automatically identifies the data type of a variable based on the type of value assigned to the variable. In another programming languages, we need to provide the data type of a variable. If we consider Java, then the different data types like int, float, double, long, short, etc. that needs to be provided with the variable name. But in Python, we don't need to provide the data type for a variable. So let's see in the demo. Here, let's say I want to provide a string data type to a variable. Let's say name is the variable name, and here if I provide here in the double quotes and say name is Code Crush, then this particular variable is now storing data of string data type. If I try to print it, print, so see we are getting here name as Code Crush. So if you want to check the type of this particular variable, then you need to provide the function type, and inside this function you need to pass the variable name. So variable is name is name here, so we will say type of name. If you try to run this code, see it is of string type because it is currently storing the data of string type. If I change the content here, let's say I provide here integer, let's say 100. Now name is 100, so what will be the type of name? Let's see here. Now the name type is integer because it is storing a integer value. Now if I change it to another type, let's say name is storing now the list, so if I provide here an empty list, and we know lists are provided using this square brackets, and if you try to check the type here, so see automatically the type is getting assigned as per the value we are providing here, so it is of list type. If I change it to tuple, so how to provide a tuple? With the help of round brackets. Now this is a empty tuple and the name will be of type now tuple. Let's see that. See we are getting here tuple. Similarly, if you provide the curly braces, then you will get the dictionary type. So we don't need to provide here the data type here. Python will automatically take the data type. Now next question. How can you declare multiple assignments in one statement? So how to declare a multiple assignments in one statement? Now here what we have done, if you provide your name, let's say 10 only, so this is a single assignment, like one variable and one value, and this value is assigned to this particular variable. But how to provide a multiple assignments? So in this way you can provide the multiple assignments. Now three variables here, a, b and c, then you need to provide a three values, 3, 4, 5. So 3 will be assigned to a, 4 will be assigned to b, and 5 will be assigned to c. Or second way of providing the assignment, if the value is same, like if you want to provide a similar value to all these three variables, then you can provide in this way. Now let's see in the demo whether it works or not. What we will do, we will declare here the variables. Let's say we have three variables, a, b and c. Now what if, let's say a equal to 3, b equal to 4 and c equal to 5. So these are my three variables here, and we have assigned them the value 3, 4, 5, and we can print them. So let's print one by one. A, let's copy this statement, paste it here, c, and then b. Now let's save this code and run now. So see we are getting the values 3, 4, 5 which we have assigned to this particular three variables. Now instead of providing them in the three different lines, you can provide them in a single line using the multiple assignments. So how to provide that? So we have seen here first variable, then separated by comma, then third variable separated by comma, after that the values 3, 4 and 5. Now we will get the similar output. See we are getting 3, 4, 5. In a single line we have provided the assignment to three variables. Now what if I just provide the two values here, 3 and 4? So what will be the output? Let's check that. See, we are getting a error. What error we are getting here? It is value error. Not enough values to unpack. Expected 3 got 2 because we have declared 3 variables. So it is expecting 3 values here, but we have provided only 2. So that's why we are getting this particular error. So here we need to provide 3 values. But let's say there is a case where you want all these 3 variables having the same value 3 now. Now if you try to run this code, so we will get the output 333. But instead of providing multiple 3's here, what you can do, as all these variables are storing a same value, you can just provide here, instead of commas you can say equals to, then equals to, and then this value 3. Now if I try to run this code, then you will get the same output 333. So in this way you can declare multiple assignments in one statement. Now let's move toward the next question. So how do you take input in Python? So as we know, Python is a interactive programming language, means one can expect the user to provide a particular input in Python. So how to take input in Python? So for taking input from the user, we have the function input. So in Python 2 we had another function draw input, but we will be using the function input here. So the input function takes as an argument the text to be displayed for the task. So we know how to take input in Python with the help of input function. So let's check in the demo. Let me remove these particular statements. Now what we will do, we will declare one method. So we know how to declare a method using the def keyword, then the name of method, let's say show, and here we will take the input from the user. Now let's say we provide directly the values. Let's say first, instead of show, let's make it add. So this function will add 2 integers, num1 equals to 10, num2 equals to 20. So these are the values we directly provided, and after that we will take another variable result, and then we will add this num1 plus num2, and then we will print the result, print result, and we will call this method. So how to call a method? With the help of method name. So add. Now if I run this code, then you will get the output 30, because 10 plus 20 will be 30, and this will be printed in the result. Now instead of hard coding this value, means directly providing the value, we will ask the user to input these 2 values. So instead of providing here the values, I will make use of input function. Input, as we have seen here, to take input in Python we need to make use of input function. So input, and another way here for the second one also we will take the input. Now if I try to save this and run now, so see there are no errors, but here no result is displayed. Actually what is happening, when you are calling this add method, then the first statement is input. So here the compiler is asking, or the Python is asking to provide the input. So I will provide here input, let's say 1, then I will hit enter, then again the message is input. So it is expecting us to provide a value. So I will say here 2, and see result here is 12. Actually what is happening, we don't provide here integer type, so they are considered as string, and 1 plus 2 is getting added, which is 1 to 12. So here we need to provide a message. Actually here in the input you can say enter number 1, enter number 1, and then we will say enter number 2. Now as we have provided the message, it will be more user friendly to get these values. Now if I run this code, see we are getting here enter number 1, so let's say 2, then again enter number 2, 3, we will get here 23, because they are considered as string. If you want to consider them as integer, then you need to make use of int function, int, and all these should be inside this int function. Let me provide here also int. Now if we run this code, then we will get the integer values, means enter number 1, let's say 2, enter number 2, 3. See we are getting here 5 now, because they are considered now the integer values. So the main aim was to how to take an input from user using the input function, and inside this you can pass the message so that user will understand what action he needs to take. Now let's move toward the next question. Which of the following is a invalid statement? So these are the some 4 statements here, and we need to identify which is the invalid statement. So let's start with the first one, which is xyz and this particular value. Okay, now let me remove this particular code and we will say here xyz, and what is the value here? 1 comma 3 zeros and then again 3 zeros. Now this is the value which is assigned to this variable xyz, and if we try to print here, print xyz and try to run this code, see we are getting this value as 100. Why? Because as these are separated by the commas, so this particular values is considered as, first one is 1, then this entire 3 zeros are considered as 10, again these 3 zeros are considered as 10. And what is the type of this xyz? Let's check that with the help of type function, type, and inside this we need to pass the variable name. See, this is tuple. So we haven't provided the round brackets, but as these are separated by the commas, Python is automatically considering them as the tuple here and not the list. Remember this, it is considered as tuple. Now let's check this second statement, which is x then space y then space z and this particular values. Now let's check that, x then space then y then space, and these values are 1000 then 2000 then 3000. And if you try to print here, as you can see there is an error here which says unresolved reference egg end of statement expected. Actually this is the wrong statement here, because when you are declaring a variable you cannot provide the space here. That's the wrong way to declare a variable. This is not considered as an entire variable. There should be something between the characters here and not space. So this is the invalid statement here. The provided statement second is invalid. Now third statement is valid. As we know, this is a multiple assignments on a variable, like 1000 will be stored in x, 2000 will be stored in y, 3000 will be stored in z. And this is also a valid statement because this is a particular one variable xyz, and underscore is allowed in a variable name. Here you can check, like if I replace this particular space with this underscore x, y and then z and this particular value, it will be allowed because this is a valid statement. So these were some of the questions on Python programming language. We will see another questions in the next video. Thank you for watching.